Good evening and welcome to Daily Red Devil for all of your latest Manchester United transfer news and talk. And as always, we're back with another massive show to bring you guys this evening. But before we jump into that, please do smash a like on the video and please do subscribe to the channel, bottom right hand corner. So on the show this evening, we're going to be talking about this story saying that Manchester United are considering changing Erik ten Hag for a different manager and that apparently he is on thin ice. We will, of course, be talking about that. We will be reacting to that. And I will, of course, as always, be getting you guys to give your opinions in the live chat and in the comment section. So make sure you do that. We'll also be reacting to the stories coming out that apparently both Raphael Varane and Casemiro are unhappy and angry with the manager, which is... It just goes on and on and on, as well as more leaks, all sorts of stuff to get into. Yeah, get involved in the comment section, get involved in the live chat. Let me know your thoughts on everything we discuss on today's show. So let's start off with the big story, which is, of course, that apparently Erik ten Hag is now on thin ice. This is coming out from the Times in the UK this afternoon, literally in the last half an hour, and they are reporting the following. They're saying that Manchester United are now considering alternatives to Erik ten Hag, who is thought to be on thin ice at the club. United view Zinedine Zidane and Ruben Amorim as the potential replacements for ten Hag. So Ruben Amorim is the manager of Sporting Lisbon. Obviously, Zinedine Zidane, everyone knows who that is. You know, won loads of things with Real Madrid. He is currently clubless. It then goes on to say that it will cost Manchester United up to £15 million to sack Erik ten Hag. We spoke about that many times before. He's got 1.5 years left on his contract, paid £9 million a year. It says that some players feel that Erik ten Hag needs to protect his favourites in the squad while rounding on others, albeit without outright naming them in the public. And it also then goes on to say that there is increasing unrest amongst a number of Manchester United players amid the team's plight this season. It says dressing room sources have told the Manchester Evening News doubts are growing over Erik ten Hag's management and there is simmering resentment amongst certain players towards other teammates. Some players are also unimpressed with the general direction of the club as its strategic review enters a 12th month. So all round, everyone's unhappy. The manager's unhappy, the players are unhappy, the fans are unhappy. I would say that the Glazers probably don't really care, to be honest, because all we're talking about at the moment is Ten Hag. No one's talking about the Glazers really anymore, apart from fan channels like this and, you know, other Manchester United fan channels on YouTube. None of the mainstream media are talking about the Glazers. They never really did anyway. They just thought Manchester United fans were being babies. Let's see what everyone's saying in the chat about this evening. Welcome, everybody. Peter is saying, I'm hearing either Zinedine Zidane or the Sporting Lisbon manager. Yep. Malp says, manager hired, sacked during the second season, interim in, no players in, January interim sacked, and new manager comes in, repeat. Yeah, exactly. It's just the same old cycle over and over and over again. And I really did think that Erik ten Hag was going to come in and break this cycle. I thought, you know, getting top 4 in his first season and winning a trophy, unbelievable. That is honestly an unbelievable record for a manager you know, who's just come into the job. I really, really do. I think it's unbelievable. I think it's really, really impressive. When you think that not Pep Guardiola, sorry, you think Mikel Arteta comes into Arsenal, right? He finishes 8th twice in 4 seasons. He's still there, and look how good they're doing now. You know what's funny, right? Erik ten Hag still has a higher win ratio than Arteta at this moment in time. Arteta's is around 58%. Erik ten Hag's in the mid-60s. So if you actually look at it on paper, Erik ten Hag has won more games than Arteta at this point. I mean, it's crazy, isn't it? It really, really is. Yeah, there are people in the fan base who will want him out. Somebody says, do you think this will solve the problem? I don't think so. And as Steve says, I don't think Zinedine Zidane would even want to come to Manchester United personally. If I was Zinedine Zidane, if I was his advisors, I would say to avoid this job, literally go as far away from Manchester United as you possibly can. I think it would be the worst decision for Zinedine Zidane to come to Manchester United. This isn't me talking as from a United's perspective. I'm talking from Zinedine Zidane's perspective. I honestly think we will absolutely ruin Zinedine Zidane. You know, obviously at Real Madrid, he had an unbelievable record. He did very, very well. But if he comes here, we will completely ruin him. I promise you of that. I don't know much about the Sporting Lisbon manager, to be honest with you. So I'm not really going to comment on them. If anybody in the chat knows much about them, then please do let me know. I'm going to have a quick look for you whilst we're live now. He's not somebody I'm familiar with. But then we have another story coming out in the last couple of minutes as well, saying that Manchester United are also considering Hansi Flick as the next Manchester United manager. This is coming out from 2 or 3 different journalists in Germany. It says that Manchester United have identified former Bayern Munich and Germany manager Hansi Flick as a potential replacement for Erik ten Hag if he is sacked. Let me know what you think about that. Let me know. Again, Hansi Flick, he's not someone I'm massively familiar with. Obviously, I know about him. I know what he's done for Bayern Munich, but I would never say he was one of the top priorities for me. I'm just having a look at what he's won. So he's won the Champions League. He's won the World Cup with Germany. He plays the same formation we do at the moment, 4-2-3-1. So I guess that's probably why it would work quite well. You know, he's won the German Bundesliga twice. He's won a lot of things in his career, to be fair to him. So, you know, he's a seasoned professional. He won the Champions League in 2020, won obviously the German league. He won the World Cup about 10 years ago. He's been around for a while, hasn't he, Hansi Flick? He's 58 years of age, so he's a little bit on the older scale. But you do have to remember, right, he was sacked as the Germany manager quite recently, wasn't he? When was it? I don't know exactly when it was. September 2023. There you go. He only lasted for 25 matches and he got sacked. So not for me. You know what my stance is on this channel, guys. I want Erik ten Hag to stay. I think Erik ten Hag deserves at least another season. But I'll tell you this, right? I honestly think we'll lose against Fulham on Saturday. I do. I think we'll go to Fulham, and I don't think any of these players will show any desire. I don't think they'll show any fight, and I think that'll be enough for the Manchester United board to consider Erik ten Hag's job, because the fact that everybody's talking about Erik ten Hag at the moment, right? If these players are going to play for him, they will go out on Saturday and put in the best performance of their careers. They will. They'll give 150%. But we know what this bunch of players are like. They throw people under the bus. They would rather the manager be blamed than themselves. And I think that on Saturday, I think we'll lose to Fulham. Fulham away from home, even if we're in form, I think it's still a difficult game. You play that, then you have to go away to Copenhagen on Tuesday or Wednesday. I can't remember exactly what day it is. Let me double check for you. But either way, right? We're out of the League Cup. That was the only trophy we won last season. If we lose to Fulham in the week, we'll probably be somewhere down. Sorry, on the weekend, we'll probably be down about 12th, 13th in the table. I mean, we could even go as low as, let me just double check the Premier League table. But, you know, the table moves so quickly, doesn't it? So if we were to lose on Saturday, I mean, we could go as low as 15th if we lose on Saturday. You know, if the results go against us. I mean, if Chelsea win, if Fulham beat us, etc., we could be 15th place in the Premier League by Saturday. If that happens, and then we go and lose against Copenhagen away from home, which I'll be honest with you, I've got absolutely no faith in these players anymore whatsoever. I have no faith that they'll go and beat Copenhagen. I don't. I think they'll probably lose. We nearly drew with them at home. We'd be terrible. So do we really think we're going to go away to Copenhagen? It will be Copenhagen's biggest game of their whole existence. Manchester United at Copenhagen. We know how many Danish fans of Manchester United there are in Copenhagen. It'll be completely sold out. It'll be the biggest, spectacle they've had probably ever in Copenhagen's existence. And they'll want to win. Of course they will. It's the biggest game of their whole season, the biggest game of most of those players' careers, let's be honest. And I think it's going to be very, very difficult. But let me know what you guys think. I'll read out some of you guys' comments now. Let's see what people are saying in the chat. Everybody who's just joined, please do smash a like on the video. Give it the thumbs up. It doesn't cost any money. And please do subscribe. Bottom right-hand corner. Get involved. Somebody says, I think Erik ten Hag might just sack himself. I would rather we play our under-21s than these bunch of sad players at United. Fair enough. Pig Teat says Mason Mount was because of the homegrown quota, and Eric thought he was getting other players. He was shafted in the window, only getting Evans and Onana, no Kane, no Osimhen, no Frankie de Jong. I mean, no Kim Min-jae. There were so many players we thought we were getting, wasn't there? Somebody says the best thing to help United is to sell the team, else we won't see anything positive. Well, we know that that's not going to happen, do we? We know that they're going to sell to Sergeant Ratcliffe, and it'll be even worse. Irvin says this is not good. After a few months into the season, we are considering to change the manager. What club have we become? I will say it now. If that happens, we will be changing managers in every 1 year. I mean, that's what happens. We change a manager every 2 years at Manchester United. It's the same thing over and over again. And we needed to break that cycle. This was our opportunity to do that. We had a manager who overachieved in his first season, right? He won us a trophy. He got us top 4 in his first season. It's unheard of. It is. You don't see Jurgen Klopp doing that. You don't see Arteta doing that. I know Arteta won the FA Cup, didn't he? But he didn't get top 4. I think he finished 8th in his first 2 seasons. Erik ten Hag got 3rd. He got to an FA Cup final. He won the League Cup. I mean, that is a massive, massive achievement. It was way more than I was ever going to expect. And when you look at the team that we had facing Man City and Newcastle, right? Let's look at Man City, because that was effectively our best team, wasn't it? You look at the team that was playing against Man City, right? You had a defence of Johnny Evans, 35 years of age. Harry Maguire should have been sold in the summer. Dalot, not good enough to be a Manchester United player, in my opinion. Victor Lindelof may be okay as a fourth choice centre-back, not to be starting at left-back against the best team in the world football at the moment, Man City. You've got Victor Lindelof, who's, in my opinion, a fourth choice centre-back starting at left-back. Just let that sink in. You've got Amrabat and Eriksen, who, let's be honest, Eriksen is past his best, and Amrabat, I'm not sure about. And all of these people, right, you'll say, oh, those are people that Erik ten Hag brought in. You're telling me that Erik ten Hag would have rather had Sofian Amrabat on loan or Frankie de Jong? Who would he have preferred to have? Tell me. He would have preferred to have Frankie de Jong. We know that. He hasn't got his first choice options. He wanted a centre-back in the summer. He got Johnny Evans. He wanted Frankie de Jong. Obviously, that deal didn't happen for multiple reasons, but he wanted someone of that quality. Let's be honest. Amrabat is not of Frankie de Jong's quality. He isn't. One is a 10, 20 million pound player. The other is a 70 to 100 million pound player. They're completely different. One's world class. One's average. We got the average one. He wanted a centre-back. He wanted Jean-Claire Todibo, who I wouldn't even say is world-class. We ended up with a Johnny Evans, who's 35 and was a free agent. You move forward to our attack. Marcus Rashford, I think, is good on his day, but obviously isn't in form. You've got Scott McTominay still playing. He should have been sold in the summer. We should have brought in someone better. Bruno Fernandes playing on the right wing and Rasmus Højlund. I mean, it's an absolute disgrace, it is. And I just think that no matter what happens, we're still going to be the same. It's still going to be the same, no matter what happens. And we needed to break this cycle. We really, really did. We really needed to break this cycle. This was the opportunity to do it, and we failed ultimately. We failed, and it looks like the way things are going, I would be absolutely shocked if they sack him before the Fulham game. I would be shocked. I don't think that would happen. I would probably give it a 1% chance that he's sacked before Fulham. But if we lose against Fulham, which, call me negative, call me whatever you want, I genuinely think we will lose against Fulham. They're a difficult side. They are. They've got good players. We're playing away from home. They've got a good manager. It's not going to be easy. Our away form is absolutely terrible. And I think that the conversations that the hierarchy at United will be saying at the moment is this. If we can't even turn Old Trafford into a fortress, which it was last season, we had one of the best home records in the whole, in all of Europe. You know, we beat Arsenal at home, we beat Liverpool at home, we beat Chelsea, we battered Chelsea, we beat City at home. Who else did we beat at home? We beat Tottenham at home. We beat all of these teams at home, didn't we, last season at Old Trafford? This season so far, we've lost to we lost to Brighton at home, we lost to Man City at home. Obviously, who else did we lose to at home? Crystal Palace. We lost to Galatasaray at home. We're losing matches at home, and that will be the concern for the people that above at Manchester United, because they know how poor we are away from home. And then once you start losing games at home as well, I think that's where the question marks start to come. So, yeah, I don't know. Let's have a look what else people are saying. Lumen says, I will forgive the Glazers if they sack Erik ten Hag and bring in Zidane. Okay, so you got somebody who wants to Zidane. That's obviously fine. That's up to you. That's your opinion. Lumen says, bring anyone. I don't care. Sack the fraud tonight. Okay. Somebody says, Ten Hag really tried to make United Ajax by buying his old teammates like Anthony and Martinez. Pig Teat says, Anthony at 40 million and 80 grand a week isn't terrible, but at 85 million and 200 grand a week is insane. I agree with that. Mumra says, missing on Kim Min-jae and not agreeing the McTominay West Ham deal with huge mistakes. Think about it, right? Donny van der Beek should have gone. Maguire should have gone. McTominay should have gone. Fred shouldn't have gone out of all of those players. It's just a joke, isn't it? It really, really is. And people will say, you can't force them out of the club. Well, Pep Guardiola had Joao Cancelo, in my opinion, one of the best left-backs in the world. He fell out with him and he's gone immediately. Within seconds, he's gone. You know, he went to Bayern Munich on loan. Pep didn't want him back. Then he sends him to Barcelona. They've got a centre-back playing at left-back. He doesn't care. And that's what Manchester United need to be like. Lumin says, Kieran, you can't sack the whole squad, but you can easily sack the manager. I mean, that's it, isn't it? Yeah, that's it, isn't it? And that's the way that the Manchester United board look at it, that they know they can't get rid of all these players because they're on absolutely ridiculous amounts of money, right? But they can just get rid of the manager and it's way easier. Yeah, I mean, it's mad, isn't it? But let me know what you guys think about that one. Let's move over to this story about Raphael Varane. This is coming out from a couple of different outlets in the UK today. Obviously, Varane was on the bench against Man City, and Erik ten Hag said that he wasn't started for technical reasons, which I think definitely rung alarm bells for me. A manager who starts Johnny Evans over Varane and leaves Varane on the bench, that is a big question mark, a big red flag. So this is coming out from a couple of different people this afternoon, and they're reporting that Raphael Varane is said to be unhappy at being dropped for last weekend's Manchester Derby defeat. And he says that he's unhappy after it being described as tactical reasons by the manager, which I would agree with. I think dropping Varane, arguably our best centre-back, alongside Martinez, for Johnny Evans, who, let's be honest, he's okay. Like, he's not good, is he? He's okay, Johnny Evans. He's all right as a free agent, but he should never be at Manchester United. I know he was at Manchester United many, many years ago when he was in his youth, but at the age of 35, you shouldn't be welcoming Johnny Evans back to Manchester United, unless, of course, it was to allow Harry Maguire to leave. I said this in the summer. If bringing in Johnny Evans facilitated Harry Maguire going and bringing in another centre-back, a Jean-Claude Todibo and Antonio Silva, I had zero issues with Johnny Evans, but the thought of having Johnny Evans and Harry Maguire as our starting centre-backs in a Manchester derby makes me feel sick. I said it in the summer. We all had a laugh. I said, you wait, ha ha ha, it won't be long before before Maguire and Johnny Evans are starting. And everyone said, yeah, right, that's never going to happen. Literally within 3 games, that was the reality, because obviously injuries, Martinez is out for 3 months, Varane seems to have fallen out with the manager. It's just the same old stuff over and over again. And then it's the same with Casemiro as well. Obviously, Andy Mitten was talking earlier on today on one of his podcasts, saying that apparently most of the players in the dressing room were unhappy with the comments that Erik ten Hag made about Casemiro, saying that he brought him off at half time because they wanted to be able to play football and they felt that they couldn't do it with Casemiro on the pitch. I mean, that is insulting, isn't it? When you think of Casemiro's pedigree, when you think of what Casemiro's won in his career, countless Champions Leagues, obviously loads and loads of Spanish leagues and all the rest of it. Whereas, let's be honest, Erik ten Hag hasn't really won that much at this point, has he, in his career? When you look, Casemiro's won 5 Champions Leagues. And to come out and say that you're bringing him on, remember, right, Casemiro's been brought off at half-time 2 games in a row. That is not good. It's not good for his confidence. And I can see why the players are getting frustrated. Whether they are within their right to do that, I don't know. That's up for you to decide. But yeah. But I'm going to wrap the video up here, guys. It was just a bit of a shorter one just to bring you this bit of news. Please do let me know in the comment section what your thoughts are. Do you think a new manager is necessary? For me, definitely not. Let me know your thoughts. Thank you so much for everyone who's watched. I will be back live at 8:30 a.m. UK time tomorrow. Please do smash a like on the video. Please do subscribe before you go, and I'll speak to you all a bit later.